come from, which local comment are you from. That's not who you are. Who you are is who does God say you are. Who does God say you are? Now, and Obi has already dealt with this topic. If you remember the issue of the $20 bill, if you remember that, that will tell you who you are. Ask yourself that question. Who am I? What, regardless of what is done to me, cannot change who I am. Regardless. Once you have that answer, you're already on good footing. The second is that the resilience must be purposeful. You must have purpose. And this is the why question. What is your purpose? Why do you exist? You wake up every morning for a reason. You're all awake. You could have died last night, but you're here. The reason when you wake up, what's the question you ask yourself? Why did God permit me to live another day? Why are you here? You're not here by mistake. Believe me, you're not an error. You're not some chance that just happened. There's a reason why you are here. You're not a lottery ticket. You're a very deliberate creation to solve a very deliberate problem. And I love as Aisha put it, said if you want to succeed, just find the problem and be a problem solver. And that's why you are. There are ways that you will see things. If you are one who critiques everything you're always complaining, that means you are seeing the problem. Guess what? God has given you the solution. Use that problem that you are seeing to create an opportunity for your problem, for yourself. And so you are created. The why of your existence, the sooner you answer it, the better. Why do you exist? Why did you wake up this morning? What is the problem that you are uniquely able to solve? And we each have our why. My why is different from yours, but you have your why. So find the why. The third is that you must be focused. Once you have discovered your why and you know who you are, the next question is, where the hell are you going to? What's your direction? And that comes to the question of vision. Where are you heading to? You must answer this. It's a directional aid. It helps you see very clearly. There's something called True North, the North Star. It's constant. In the days of old navigators and explorers and all of that, they didn't have what you would call a compass today. And so what they used was astrology and just looking at the stars. And they realized that there was one star called the Northern Star that was always there. Every other star may shift and all of that, but the Northern Star was always there. And as long as they kept their eyes on where that Northern Star was, they never got lost. They may go left a bit, they may go right a bit, but as long as they were there, they knew where they were going. You must have your own true north. What is it that you hold on to that regardless of what happens would always bring you back to focus? That's your vision. Hold on to it. It does not matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what the country says. It doesn't matter what the economy says. It doesn't matter what. What is your true north? Find your own true north, and you will always find your way back home. Because you may know who you are. You may know why you exist. You may know where you are going, but believe me, if you don't know how you're getting there, you are stuck. You are stuck. So the how is a very critical issue. The how will help you fulfill your why. It will help you get to where you're going to. It requires learning. It requires relationship building. It requires perseverance. It requires planning. It requires resources. And it requires patience. Your mentor has left. But one of the things he was saying, if you hear, is that there's a building block. There's a process to everything. We can speed up the process. But guess what? You cannot shortcut the process. A microwave speeds up cooking, but it does not shortcut the process. It still follows a process. What has happened is that somebody has sat down and thought through the process and decided that let me put the process in an electronic form on this side. But it is still going to do the job. But if they decide to short circuit the process, they will not get there. So the how is important. You may speed it up, but the process is critical. And today, your process is in the skills that God has given to you. We're talking about green skills right now, skills of the future, skills that will enable you succeed in this future, in this life and all of that. That is your how. What are your skills? How do you develop it? How do you train on it? How do you learn with it? What do you do to apply it as a tool that would help you in sustainable development? Without it, it's impossible. And then you get to the what. What is all of this about? These skills, what do you do with it? And there's a word that I have here regarding the what. And again, and I mentioned it. Anyone who's going to succeed never gives up. Never, never. Giving up is not an option. You can't give up. But guess what? Failure is an option. You will get to that point where everything will seem to shut down. But it's not shutting down because you're a failure. It's shutting down because you have been holding that gift that somebody else is meant to benefit from. You've just been holding it. It's time for you to let it go. Leave it. Explode. So Nigeria needs you, the youth, now more than ever. This generation, your generation, is the lifeline that can restore this nation back to health, to a thriving country. And the tools to achieve it is there in your hands. It's right there for you. It's there. You have the tools. So let me briefly highlight a few of these areas where you have comparable advantage. So the first is politics. You may not believe this, but you have all the advantage of politics. And if there's something that this last election should have shown you, is that the threat of a digital election came so close to reality. The threat. And what did we politicians see? We saw that threat, and all of a sudden it became clear that, the leverage of power and decision can move from a few to the many, to the masses. And so you saw some of the things that happened. But guess what? You were already at the edge. You're already pushing the boundaries. You're already getting there. It's in your hand. You, the people, so please be resilient. Don't give up. Don't throw away the gains. You have gained a lot. The last 10 years, your generation, what you have done in the last 10 years, you will not believe it. A lot is happening. You've done a lot politically in the last 10 years. So you are just at the brink of making things happen, and you want to give up. And please, I beg you,